hockey fans. T-Boss is 13-3 here with top shelf guests, former Wisconsin Badgers and current Minnesota Frost players, Natalie Buchbinder, Britta Curl-Salemme, Melissa Channell-Watkins, and this episode is sponsored by Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Hertel Law, Ryan Flagg at State Farm Insurance, Dooley's Pub, the St. Paul Shop, and the Chippwa Steel. And did I get those names right, Moog?
Ask them.
I think pretty good. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Very good.
All right. So we are here deep in the heart of the state of hockey with thanks to Minnesota Frost Media Director Joe Anderson. And we're at the XL Energy Center with these three former Wisconsin Badgers. So it's going to be interesting to see how these Wisconsin Badgers are settling into the fine state of hockey here in Minnesota with the Minnesota Frost. So ladies, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Britta, let's start out with you. Where did you grow up? When did you start playing hockey?
I'm from Bismarck, North Dakota. I started pretty young. My dad kind of got all my siblings and myself into the game. He always built a rink in our backyard, so I was skating since I was 3-4 years old. I played my whole youth and high school career there in Bismarck, and then I ended up going to Wisconsin in 2018, 2019, so that's when I started my career there. But yeah, that's about it.
Super.
So tell us about your siblings, boys, girls.
Yeah, there's 4 of us. I have an older brother, younger brother, and a younger sister. So we all played at least through high school, and my younger sister now is playing at University of Maine.
Did you have some good battles out on the backyard?
Oh,
rink?
yeah. Usually ended in tears, but they were always fun.
So were you the one chucking the knuckles and the elbows, or how'd that work?
Yeah, usually. Usually it'd be whoever could get the body over the boards, then it would just start a brawl, but I would get into it for sure.
How tall were the boards?
Oh, about 1.5 feet tall, so it wasn't hard.
Good shoulder. They're in the snowbank. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
I like it. All right. Natalie, how about you?
I grew up in Rochester, New York. I probably started skating the same time you guys did, around 3 years old. My dad never played hockey, but he always loved it, and he got my older brother into it. And he also built a rink in our backyard, so that's kind of where the fuel started. I guess just playing with my brother and his friends, that kind of drove me to be more competitive, and I always wanted to beat them. Probably some fights out there too. My sister, she can skate, but she doesn't do anything else athletic besides that. So it was mostly my dad. He just has always loved hockey. He's still playing beer league at 60 years old right now. So definitely he is the reason that I got into it.
Well, if he ever gets back to the Midwest to watch you play, you tell him to look us up, because Mogi and I play in an over 60 beer league, and we'd be more than happy to have him.
I'm sure he would love that.
It's not pretty. I'll be really honest with you. It's not pretty.
Yeah, we skate like a herd of turtles.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Right. Well,
there's nothing worse than having your wife come to watch a game when you think you're just ripping it up, and she's like, God, you guys are slow. It's like, wow. Didn't feel slow.
Felt like we were flying, right? Oh, my gosh. All right, Melissa, how about you?
I have an interesting background. So I was born in Seattle, but my dad's a scout in the NHL, so I've been moving back and forth. But mostly grew up in Detroit, played for Little Caesars, moved to Canada, played a couple of years in Canada. But honestly, I got into hockey because my dad, he played growing up, obviously, and now he's a scout. My older sister didn't play hockey, so I was the one that had to put the skates on and get tossed out there for Learn to Skate. And here we are, 20 plus years later.
Sounds like it worked out pretty well for you.
I'd say
for
so,
all of
yeah.
you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you guys play high school hockey back in your days, and with girls, boys, or were you in different organizations? Britta?
I played high school, just the girls' high school team in Bismarck. It was a co-op at the time, so I just played North Dakota high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Melissa, how about you?
I played at what are they called? Not high school, but like an organization.
An academy or something?
No, like for Little Caesars, like a
AAA.
like a AAA program, yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And then in Canada, because in the States, I don't think you can play, at least in Michigan, you couldn't play high school but
right.
high school hockey in Michigan was not like it was like house league. But then in Canada, I played both AAA and high school.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Natalie?
I played until my sophomore year of high school. I played boys AAA at home. New York is not the same as Minnesota when it comes to high school hockey, so like all the top players will play AAA and not high school. And then my sophomore year, I went to Shattuck St. Mary's for 3 years. Graduated from there, so that was also
is your name on the board?
AAA.
Is your name on the board? Did you get to sign it when you graduated from there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were down there this summer. Checked out the board. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Neat campus down there.
Very.
So I got a question for Britta and Melissa. So Britta, back in the day, North Dakota had a great women's college hockey program. They don't have it anymore. And Michigan has 7 men D1 hockey programs and none for the women. What's going on? Do you see it coming back there? And do you ever see it coming in Michigan? I just can't believe that.
I think in North Dakota, like, I just remember when the team actually got cut. At the time, I was already committed to Wisconsin, so
okay.
I was pretty lucky that I, had somewhere else to play. But like the locals and the people from the university, the people that played there, like, there's a lot of good hockey fans in the state, and like it was outrage. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that they would love to get it back. I haven't heard or seen any like big pushes, but I don't know. It's pretty sad just because I think there's a big history in the state, especially on the men's side. So, and they were building to that women's team.
What happened? Why did they drop it?
I mean, it was just a matter of money, I think. Like, they had to cut one of the women's programs, and they were losing money, but you'd think they would try in some way to keep it around.
Wow.
Okay.
How about Michigan?
There's a lot that's going on right now. They're actually doing a feasible study to see if they are able to support a women's team there. So one of my good friends is actually the coach of the club Michigan team there, who's like started this whole movement to get a team there. I mean, I hope it happens. I don't know, because there's a lot of things that would kind of be impacted by it if it does happen. But honestly, I think at least one Michigan school, Michigan State, Ferris, whatever it is, like a Michigan school should have a program. And I would love to see it because I would have went there for sure if there was a school there.
I can imagine. Yeah, I kind of was wondering how that would have worked out for you too if you would have had the program in your state. But
yeah, I for sure would
think
have.
things worked out for you okay at Wisconsin, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Natalie, when did colleges start reaching out to you? What age were you?
Maybe my sophomore year after I went to Shattuck, because that was my first, besides like national camps and stuff like that, my first like real experience playing girls hockey. So I think playing there and traveling around the country and going to all these tournaments with a lot of college coaches, I probably got a few emails, nothing like crazy, maybe my freshman year. And then I think I committed the end of my sophomore year.
What was the draw to Wisconsin?
Honestly, I didn't visit that many schools just because I felt like I was always playing hockey in high school, and my parents obviously were so far away. So I visited like RIT, which is 20 minutes from my house, and I visited Minnesota, and I visited Wisconsin, and that's kind of it. Like, I talked to other schools or whatever over the phone, but in my head, I knew that I wanted to play at like the highest level, and I wanted to win championships. And no offense, Minnesota, but their campus just was not it for me.
Okay.
Like, I just got this eerie feeling. I don't know. I fell in love with the campus, and I think just the history of the program, and I thought it was so cool that Mark Johnson was the head coach, and my dad was like, he was raving about it too. Like, he wanted me to go there, and yeah, it was an easy decision for me. But Minnesota was number 2 somehow. I don't know. I regret that.
You regret that it was number 2?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I wish I would have visited more schools. Like, I know I was talking a little bit with Colgate and schools that are closer to me out east, so I didn't get a chance to visit them, but No regrets with Wisconsin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Britta, what were you looking at? What age were teams looking at you, and how did you choose Wisconsin?
I think like around 8th or 9th grade, I kind of got a little bit of contact with North Dakota just because I was already playing girls high school by that time. So that's when I kind of realized that like people would be interested and that maybe I was good enough to play. And then I think I made a couple like national camps. I went to a few showcase type tournaments, got a little more interest around like freshman year, sophomore year, and then I made the U18 team, I think my junior year, and that's kind of when it really took off and people like wanted me or showing interest. So I committed my junior year, like in the fall. So yeah, I had a couple, my top were like Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then Duluth. I think Boston College was in there, but at the end of the day, like I thought that there was no spot for me at Wisconsin. They didn't seem to have like the money for me, which I was pretty much left with Minnesota, and I was like, no. I'm like, I realized at that moment, you know, when you like flip a coin and you're like, you'll know what you want when you flip the coin. I was like, I want to go to Wisconsin. So I'm like emailing Dan Cook. I'm like, if you have like, just make something work. Like, I'm going to be a Badger.
I'm going to be She'll do the laundry.
I'm like, literally.
Yeah,
I'll panhandle on the corner.
Well, it worked out.
Yeah,
Obviously, the emails worked out, and things came the way you wanted
I
to.
think about that often. Like, if I wouldn't have sent that email,
Did you
where
ever
would I
talk
be?
to Coach Cook about that?
Yeah. After like my freshman year when we won the championship, he said something to me like, "I'm really glad you sent that email." Like, me too.
He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
How about you, Melissa? How'd you end up there?
Honestly, I can't remember. It's been quite some time. But I do remember they were my top school. I know I took a visit there, and it was when they were building the LeBron. So I was like going through, they're like, okay, picture this with like a hard hat on. And I'm like, it's just a piece of dirt. Like, how am I supposed to picture what this is supposed to look like? But I mean, I took a couple visits to other schools, but I just always kind of knew I wanted to go to Wisconsin just because it is such a well-known program, and how successful they've always been. And then I think I committed late. I was probably like spring break of junior year. I just didn't want to commit too early because I was like, I'm so young. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. How am I going to know where I want to spend the next 4 years of my life? Yeah. But then once I took a visit there and saw a game at LeBron, not just wearing a hard hat, I was like, okay, this is actually really cool. So, and obviously, like Natalie said, like you step foot on campus and it's something that you'll never experience. Like I always tell people, Wisconsin has the best campus there or in the nation, and I will live and I will die to that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. JC, why don't you want to do the ad reads before we get to the next question, because this might get kind of ugly.
Oh, this is going to be good. Okay. For all your family's insurance needs, see Ryan Flagg at State Farm Insurance in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Ryan has been a proud backer of the hockey community for decades and continues to play the game himself. And Dooley's Pub has been Eau Claire's home for hockey and all sports fans since 2005. Dooley's Pub is a proud booster of the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire and local high schools. Dooley's is located on historic Water Street, providing excellent food and service, and has all of your favorite sports televised at all times. And the St. Paul Shop is your proud sponsor of Cottage Grove, Minnesota Youth Hockey and the Breakout Sessions podcast. Since 2015, this independent family-owned full-service vehicle repair service has been providing the Southeast metro area with the highest quality work in a friendly and personalized manner. Discounts are provided to senior citizens, oh, that would be me, as well as our valued members of the military, and free towing with repairs available within our service area. Give them a call today or stop in at the St. Paul Shop. Mogi, you want to throw this curveball out?
I'm going to step back a little bit because I don't want it to get too ugly here. But, when you do stuff like this, and you ask these questions, it's kind of, okay, how far do you go? How tough do you want it? And we try to keep it pretty light. And we always send the questions in advance, and we always say, is there anything you're uncomfortable with? And Melissa did say she was a little uncomfortable with this next one, but then she kind of bucked up and said, yeah, but you can ask it. So here we go. JC, you might be doing this podcast alone after this, okay?
Go.
So,
We're nice people.
well, I
We
know,
won't
but
get angry.
inside the glass, I'm sure it's a different story for you. So, Britta and Natalie each have 3 national championship rings. Melissa, your Badgers lost 4 Frozen Four final games in a row. What were your teams missing that Britta's and Natalie's teams had?
I think the answer is in that question. We were missing Britta and Natalie.
Okay.
It seems like they were the missing piece to the puzzle there. So that's what my answer.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a good answer. She handled it well.
She did. She handled it great, and I'm still breathing here too.
What was the, you're 1, 2, 3, it's like the Buffalo Bills and the Minnesota Vikings. You lost 4 of the Super Bowls. And what goes on in the locker room in those situations? What's going on for, to try and keep the spirits high after those losses?
We always just say, leading up to my senior year, we're always like, we have more time. Like, this is just 1 year. It's just a game of hockey. I know everybody wants to win a championship. But we did so much. We succeeded and won so much throughout the year. Ann Renee, I think, had the shutout record that year. I think it was like 17 games in a row or something crazy like that. Like, there were little victories within that. So it's not, your whole season doesn't just depend on one game. And that's kind of the message that Mark would send is just because you lost this one game doesn't mean that you lost your full season. Like, you had little victories throughout the year. And I think that's kind of what we built on starting my freshman year and then going up into my senior year. Yes, it's tough to lose those 4 years, but when you look back at it, you kind of just laugh now.
Yeah, now you can. I suppose, right?
But honestly, I would take the friendships and everything that I made throughout my time in college over a national championship ring. So
nice.
Well, think about those teams, though. You're right. You just that one game does not define the season as a whole, nor does it define all the players. Are there players from those teams that are in the PWHL?
Oh, God, yeah. Olympians, PWHL, Sarah Nurse, Ann Renee, Abby Rock, Annie Pankowski, who's now a vet school or as a veterinarian. Who else? There was a bunch. Emily Clark. Like, we had the power. We had the team. We had everybody there. But, sometimes you just run into a hot goalie and you can outshoot a team 53-11 and still lose.
Yeah.
Is that the exact stat?
Sounds like she remembers.
No, I don't know. It was
was
just
not going
something
away.
like that. No, but yeah, there's players on that team that have done incredible things with their career. And just because they didn't win a national championship doesn't mean that they aren't great hockey players.
Right. So think about that, all the Buffalo Bills and Minnesota Vikings who are in the same boat. All right. Sounds like we have a Buffalo Bills fan. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I was
don't wanna
hoping.
talk about it.
I was hoping. All right, we'll skip by that. All right, so Britta and Natalie, so you have 3 rings. What was that? What was your favorite one, or are they all just amazingly awesome?
Favorite one? I feel like it always has to be the first, just because, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, just, the feeling, I can't imagine winning that year and then not winning again. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would,
Once you experience
you
winning.
need it again.
Need it, you crazy.
Yeah, the first one was so exciting, and I think the second one was awesome too, because I feel like I played more of a role. I played more minutes that year. And then my last one was kind of bittersweet because I was injured during it. I ruptured my Achilles earlier that year. So that was tough not being on the ice, but still very exciting.
Yeah. It was so fun. I think the first one was really cool. Even though I was just a freshman, I hadn't experienced all those years of losses and frustrating heartbreaks. I think knowing just the history, and everyone in that locker room knew that this team and this program needed one. We had been so close, and I could feel that from the seniors and the juniors. So I think winning that one was super big for just the program and the coaches. You knew how much how long they'd been working for another one. So that was really special.
Well, let's fast forward. We're going to jump over a couple questions here just because we want to smooth this out a little bit. You end up winning the first PWHL championship, okay? Melissa, you're now on this championship team. What was the atmosphere like when you guys are on the ice, the clock's ticking down, and you guys knew this was yours?
Honestly, it was like a breath of fresh air because we thought we had won it 2 nights before, and we were all riding such a big high, and then just to drop super low. But then once we looked up at the clock, and I was like, oh my God, there's 3 minutes left. Like, we're going to do it. Like, we can do this thing. And then when there was 10 seconds left, everyone was just going crazy on the bench. I'm sure you guys have felt that before, but I mean, for the first time, it was like something I'll never forget. And just to be able to do it with Kendall there, like knowing everything that she put into this league and like being able to see her celebrate that, I think kind of was a little bit more exciting for me personally. But also winning was definitely super fun.
I know Kendall kind of set the tone and had played in a lot of leagues leading up to this. She's been with the national program forever, and the different iterations of women's professional hockey prior to the PWHL. And you spent some time in a couple of those leagues too. So finally, you get your own bona fide women's professional hockey league, and you two were able to just step right in. You didn't have to go through what some of these pioneer, groundbreaking women did have to go through, and you got to thank them for it. I mean, you think about where it was and where it is. It's like, man, you got to be just loving life right now. This is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, those years when the CWHL folded and the PWHPA came up, it was tough, I'm not going to lie. Like, it was fun just to fly in for weekends and play, but we all knew what we had, and the product that we had was something that, like, we would always say, like, okay, no, it's not really for us. It's more so for the generations to come. Like, the girls fresh out of college, like, they deserved it. They worked so hard to get to the point where they're at. They deserve to keep playing. And I think just being able to go through that and then actually have a league for girls to look up to play in. I know even for myself, I coached Little Caesars girls. I'm like, some of these girls are too good to be done after college. Yeah. And now they all have the ability to do this as a job.
Yeah, pretty cool. Give them something to shoot for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they didn't really have before.
Exactly.
Each one of you has something that the colleges and the pro ranks were looking at in order for you to make those levels. So, Britta, what do you bring to the game that the Badgers liked and the Frost liked?
I think I bring like a gritty, like hard style of play, a little bit like a power forward. Like, I can, throw the body around and get it on the forecheck. I like to think that I'm a two-way player, so I can be offensive. I have like a good shot and I can be a threat, but I'm also gonna take care of the back end. So hopefully that responsibility is something that is appreciated and people want.
Awesome. I like it. A little back checking. So she plays both sides of the red line.
She does. Unlike some of the guys on our team.
No kidding. Natalie, how about you?
Probably nothing on the stat sheet.
What? Nat.
I'm just being honest.
Stay-at-home defense person sounds
hero.
like.
I've never college pros. I'm not really a point getter. I'm not on the score sheet a whole ton. I pride myself in playing good defense and kind of just playing steady. I don't know. I like to play fast. I think I skate pretty well, and just playing aggressive and making plays.
Well, it sounds like your teammates, you're kind of like an unsung hero. Yeah. Winning games isn't always about who scores, right? Who makes that great breakout pass? Who breaks up that forecheck, right? Who does all that stuff that you don't get points for, but the people on the bench really appreciate? Blocks a big shot, something like that.
Yeah, which I live for that stuff. Yeah. Like, I love to block a shot.
Yeah.
She
like
broke
to
her
do the
hand
little
recently
things.
blocking
a
a shot.
It's still broken.
It's broken.
Oh,
currently.
From a
well.
upper body injury. Well, what's your plus minus? How's that looking?
You got
I don't know about this year, but in the past,
I think if I look back, you did pretty good in the Badgers as well as last year, right? Your plus minus rating was pretty high.
Yeah.
Okay,
believe
so
so.
coaches obviously look at that as
That
well.
says a lot.
That's
yeah.
a stat. You're on the stat sheet.
True. I don't get penalties, too.
Block shots are on the stat
penalty
sheet.
the whole regular season last year.
Really?
Wow.
And I got one in the playoffs
Actually, I think I did the same.
against Alina Mueller.
Oh, that shouldn't have
She
counted.
dove a little.
Oh, I like it.
Here we go.
Not have counted.
I don't know. It was kind of soft.
Melissa, how about you? What are you bringing to the game?
To be honest, I think Nat and I are very similar players. Like, we both just do our jobs. Like, we're both defensive players. And I know in our like beginning of the season meetings with the coaches, they're like, "What do you pride yourself in?" And I always say, like, D zone is something that I love doing, penalty killing, and just making sure like I make a great first pass. So I'm not a flashy end to end skater. I might have one every 3-4 games, but mostly just doing my job and doing it well.
So, Britta, you mentioned the physical aspect of the game. Okay, I understand women's hockey is a no check. That is not true. You go to your games and there is some pounding going on out there. So we talked to the head of Minnesota hockey, Joe Delich, a couple weeks ago, and he talks about they don't let kids start checking until Bantams now, right? And he called it competitive contact, and I guess that's what it's probably referred to in the women's game, but there's huge contact out there.
Yeah, I mean this league, like, they opened up body checking to an extent. So if you're, moving parallel with somebody and you're trying or attempting to make contact with a puck, like, you can hit. So I think that part of the game is kind of exciting and fun especially for like players like me. Like, obviously if you're a little smaller or you're more of like a skill finesse player, maybe it's a little different, but I enjoy not getting penalized as much for, standing up or winning a physical battle.
So earlier, you talked about Sis Paulson, who's the equipment manager here, and played at Wisconsin. And Sis is from our hometown area, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and she played with the boys growing up. And when she went to Wisconsin, she didn't back down. I mean, it was...
Pretty sure she's leading the program in penalty
All-time
minutes or
leader.
something.
She is.
Yeah.
And I think she's still got a little bulldog in her right now. I mean, that just never goes away, right? No. So, yeah.
Melissa, you were kind of chuckling earlier when Britta was answering the question about the contact. Are you a physical player?
I'm small, so I like to think I am, but sometimes when you go and try and hit like a Hillary Knight, you just kind of plop right over. So I think for me, being a smaller player, I have to kind of pick and choose my battles. And I found out last night pretty quickly that Hillary is one battle that I probably should not try to.
You've laid a couple good hits this year,
Yeah, I like to think I'm strong, but I'm short but strong. But sometimes other girls, you just have contact and you're like, that one hurt my insides.
That's going to leave a mark.
So there are some physical battles out there that you both enjoy and regret at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. You guys made it into the playoffs essentially right at the end of the season last year. All right? And the playoff format's a little bit different, where the top team got to pick who they wanted to play in the first round. And Toronto, being the top dog, picked you guys. Okay? Obviously thinking that this was just going to be an easy, steamroll. Yeah. What was it like for you guys to think, who the hell are these assholes? Better than
We're
us.
allowed to swear.
I mean, honestly, I would pick us too. Like, we were on a 5-game losing streak. We were in the
Didn't look
dumps.
good.
We barely made it into playoffs. Looking back, I probably would have picked us too because we were kind of going downhill. But Coach Klee always said in the locker room, just win one game. Win one game, and that's all we need. We went down 2-0. 2-0?
In the series,
In the series, and then he just kept saying, if you just win one game, like, you'll get your swagger back, like, things will start to go. And then they let us win one game, and history she wrote.
2 more.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Was there any? Coach Klee obviously was is the leader, I mean, if he's coming up with things like that, just win one game. And you mentioned, Melissa, that if you were Toronto, you would have picked you guys as well. What was the atmosphere in the locker room as far as going up against this team that, it was the top in the league? Were there leaders in the locker room that were saying, hey, we can do this? What was the atmosphere like? Britta?
I'm going to pass. I wasn't here.
Rookie.
Loser.
Yeah, I feel like, was it a 7-game slide before the playoffs?
I think we ended at 7. So it was like
was something so bad.
5 at the end of the season, and then 6, 7 were game 1 and 2.
Anyways, we basically got in because Ottawa lost to Toronto.
No, they beat Toronto, didn't they? Something happened.
I think
they
needed
lost.
Points.
Yes, they lost. Yeah.
So, and I think maybe we were a little bit defeated in that 5-game regular season stretch. But then I think once we made it in, it was like, okay, we're fine. Like, this is a whole new season, playoffs. And yeah, I lost those first 2 games. I don't think we played bad by any sense. Like, I feel like we knew that we could beat them. And obviously Kendall is a big voice for us in the locker room. Just her presence, I feel like she is the most determined person I've ever met. And then other leaders, Lee Seckline and Kelly Panic, also very vocal. But I feel like everyone in that room was also a leader.
Yeah, I feel like even like Kava would speak up, and she's normally the one that's like goofing around having a good time, but she was like, you guys, like, we're better than them. Like, we know we can beat them. And so it was like not just from our top leaders who have letters, but it came from everybody who we all were like, yeah, we're better than them. Like, we can beat them. Like, it just takes one.
Did you go into the series at all with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, knowing that Toronto did pick you, thinking you guys are going to be patsies, you're going to roll over easy, round 1 victory, and it's like we're gonna make sure they know they're in a tilt with us?
I think we were all had a chip on our shoulder just because the way our season was ending, and we wanted to prove like we're better than what we just provided the last 5 games. So I think there was a chip on our shoulder, and just the way like everything happens. Like, it's kind of cool that you can pick your opponent, but then it can also turn around and bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
But no, I think we all kind of had a chip on our shoulder just because they probably, I mean, even some of their players were like, oh, you won't need game 5 tickets, like blah, blah, blah. Like, we're not going to even go to game 4 and stuff like that. So I think it's just funny, like, looking back on it now and being like, well,
the feeling after that series was like the best feeling.
Yeah, like the handshake line. It was like ooh,
a little extra squeeze.
Just with a look, I feel like you could just insult them. So.
Yeah,
like, that is so embarrassing.
So a little bit of chirping goes on between the teams on the rink. Any good ones that you can share with us that are family show
Abby
Look
appropriate?
at me.
because you and Abby.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Whoa.
Abby
Rock.
comes
No,
on with
I
that
feel
little
like
voice of yours.
I don't chirp. I don't know if you guys do.
I don't.
But like, if I'm playing against like a former Badger and I'm good friends with them, like I might say something stupid just to mess with them. Like, I know last year, remember when Abby and I got into it?
Yes.
I just went up to Abby after the whistle and just was like right in her face. And I didn't expect her to like actually get mad, but she like came at me. And that's not someone who I'm trying to get into a pound per pound fight with.
Britta, you say you play with an edge. You're a gritty player. I got to imagine that when you're in the corner, throwing body weight around, that you got to throw a earful out there once in a while.
I'm usually too tired to talk. When you're throwing the body, like, I just don't have time.
Too much energy.
Yeah, no, sometimes after the whistle, but I usually don't start it. If other people are coming at me, I'm not afraid to give it back, but I don't usually have much to say.
Is there anybody in the league who's a notorious chirper that everybody knows?
Abby, Rock.
Kind of like the Brad Marchand of the PWHL?
Maybe towards the officials.
Abby
more than
Rock.
players.
Abby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's always yapping.
Yeah.
Can she back it up?
Yeah. She's a good player.
I think so.
I think she's a good
Yeah.
player. Great person, too, sometimes.
You mentioned Hillary Knight a little bit ago. As you guys have been playing in this league now, who is your single toughest opponent? Hillary Knight's obviously a strong physical skater. Is that the person you don't want to see coming down on you one-on-one, or that you don't want to go into the corner with, or are there other skaters?
Poulin.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would say fun.
She
Or-
can just turn on a dime. It's crazy.
I was
She
going to
plays
say
for
Spooner.
Montreal.
Montreal, yeah. Spooner, too.
Spooner last year. Obviously, she's been injured, but going against her, like,
She's a big girl.
she could skate.
She's a big
And
girl.
if she's like driving the net wide on you, like you're falling over. She is a very strong girl. And just, I don't know, like battling her net front just seemed like impossible.
Yeah.
Like she was just so strong.
She's got the mom strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
The person I don't like going against when I have the puck is probably Megan Keller. Like, she's going to body you. And she's so big, too. That you can
She's
just,
so
it's so
large.
hard to get by her.
Her stick is
Yeah.
0.5.
All right. You know who to look at. Mo.
Okay, we're going to give out sponsor shout-outs here. The Chippwa Steel is a proud sponsor of the Breakout Sessions podcast. If you're looking for a great night of hockey, a Steel game is the place to be. You can find their schedule online at chippwasteelhockey.com or by following their social media pages at Chippwa Steel Hockey. And Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine has been committed to the healthcare needs of patients in western Wisconsin since 1954. The orthopedic surgeons, athletic trainers serve many area schools. Their success and reputation as an outstanding orthopedic clinic can be attributed to the teamwork of friendly, knowledgeable physicians and staff. And Hertel Law, the law firm you want on your side, focusing on criminal defense and personal injury. Harry Hertel has been obtaining results for clients in the Chippewa Valley since 1981. When you need legal help, if injured or accused of a crime, call 715-832-4330 for a free in-person consultation. JC.
You guys had mentioned Kendall a little bit earlier as kind of a team voice to get you guys going. And obviously she wears the C for the team and has been picked as the team leader. Who picks the team leader? Does the coach do that or do the players do that?
I think since it was new last year, the coaches did.
Okay.
But honestly, I think it would have been the same if the players
Yeah.
did.
It would have been the same.
Like if we had a vote, I'm pretty sure it would have been the same three.
Mogi and I have seen her play, obviously, not only in person but on TV, and we watch. And she seems as if she skates with she's got a rocket up her butt. Is she still the fastest, do you guys think, in the league, or is somebody
Yeah.
overtaking
For
that?
sure.
For sure.
Her first like 5 strides out of any play are
Yeah.
just insane. And she could be like end of a shift
Oh
too.
my
Like, she could be
gosh,
out there
she'll
for
be
a
out for a
minute
minute.
30 and she's still skating twice as fast as me. Like
Yeah.
fresh.
Superhuman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
it's
get it.
crazy.
Is there a prankster on the team? Somebody who's pulling jokes in the locker room?
I feel like we haven't had pranks this year.
Yeah.
Grace Somewinkle used to, before practice, put like a full cup of water under someone's helmet. So then when they grabbed it off the shelf, it would just spill all over them. But I feel like we haven't had any,
No, we haven't
any
had.
this year.
We got some silly people on the team,
Yeah.
but they're not like
Some
pulling
jokesters.
pranks.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Who's got the fiercest shot on the team?
I think Britta has a nice shot.
Thanks, guys.
I try to get out of the way when she's shooting in practice.
Oh, is that right? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I have no aim, I just hit ankles.
Or necks.
Or necks.
Yeah, either.
Either one.
Okay. So what's your go-to shot?
One timer.
One-timers.
All right. Who's the most physical on the team?
Britta.
I would say Britta's up there.
I think Maggie Flaherty
Maggie.
is...
Maggie, yeah.
She's kind of like our enforcer
Yeah.
a little bit.
Oh, you got an enforcer. I like it.
Okay,
She'll
interesting.
step in, especially when you need help, or
Yeah, anybody.
I think anybody, yeah.
She's not, like, cheap, but, like, if she has an opportunity to hit somebody, she's gonna, like, make it hurt.
And if somebody's after our goalie, she'll step in and
I feel like
let
people
them
are
know.
kind of like afraid of her.
Yeah.
But
Like after they get hit,
that's
it's
hockey.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
do that, and people are going to think twice about going in the corner with
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
once you have them thinking like that, you're winning that battle right there. You know, give me a little extra time and space. You can get that. Big things can happen out there for you.
Oh yeah, especially if you've got somebody that's not afraid to back down, right?
Yeah,
You just-
exactly.
you just
Say,
go.
I don't want to go in there. You can have the puck.
You know, it's only been a year and a half the league has been in existence. Is there a particular team that you really have formed a rival against?
I don't know.
Or is everybody just kind of equal as far as what you get up for each team equal? It's not necessarily somebody who you just despise playing, but the other teams in the league are equal?
I don't know.
I feel like Toronto and Boston more than
Yeah.
other teams, maybe just because of the playoffs. I hate playing against Montreal. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't know.
Just
I don't know
their
if that's a
style of
rivalry,
play.
but
What is it about Montreal that you guys dislike?
Everything.
players, staff, logo, colors, name, rink.
I think with Montreal, it's like I know the least amount of players on that team. Like I don't have many like friends because they're just all like French Canadians or I don't know. So it's like there's no reason.
Easier
like,
not to like them.
Right.
Yep. So last year it was the PWHL, and you were all identified by the city or state that you represented. But now you've got your monikers now, the Minnesota Frost and the Boston Fleet. What do you think about those? What do you think about the names, and what do you think about the logos?
I think they're cool. I think they look a lot better than I expected when they first originally came out. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
I
they've
was
grown on me.
Yeah, at first I was kind of like, ooh, I don't think I like many of these. But now that I see them in jerseys and see them around the stands and stuff, I think they definitely have grown on me for sure. I don't know about you guys,
Yeah.
but
I feel like some of the fans or whoever kind of had some hate towards them at first. But then I was thinking, like, think about any other, like, all the weird major sports teams, names and logos that, like, nobody thinks twice about
Yeah,
now.
they just become a normal part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
So,
is
like,
what it is.
In 5 years or whatever, probably next year, people won't even think about it. It's just like,
I think they did a really good job with the colors too. It's just like a little
Yeah.
different than a lot of other major sports leagues. Like it stands out. So I think it's cool.
You guys have played under some phenomenal coaches in your career. You look back at college, you got Coach Johnson, Coach Cook. I mean, those guys are well established. They know what the hell they're doing. Coach Klee is another established coach. How do you compare those two guys?
polar opposites,
you don't.
complete opposites.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think just in the way, I don't know, Mark was very quiet and very, I don't know how to say it.
Like in control, reserved.
Like he's just like even keel the whole game. Something good could happen. I think I've heard Mark swear 2 times in my entire career.
Okay.
Ken is just very animated, I would say, but in a good way.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's overly like negative or anything.
No.
Like he's not getting angry, but he's like very vocal.
Yeah.
Even like during plays or during practices, he's like, "Come on, Britta! Come on, Britta! Like, get your stick out, get on your backhand!" Like he's just like
He's just always,
yeah. So
So what about when Coach Johnson used to take his hat and kind of turn it to the
I
side?
was thinking about that.
So,
honestly, Critter did it the other day.
you-
Did
you-
anyone
he
see
did
it?
not.
Something happened and Critter goes,
Oh, so you knew something was up when he does that. then
Yeah.
we got to stop the drill. We got to have a conversation here.
That's almost worse than getting screamed at. I think, because like you've just disappointed Mark Johnson. He's just shaking his head.
So you'd rather get your butt chewed by him than see that cap go sideways.
Like yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
because at that point he's given up. He's like, "Wow, they're
There's
so
no help.
bad." Like he just
All right. Oh, what was the biggest difference that you guys felt when you went from the college ranks, especially you two, Britta and Natalie, when you guys stepped from the college ranks to the PWHL, what was the biggest difference that you guys noticed?
I think just every game being a really good game. Like in college, we played in a good conference, obviously, but there are 6, 7, 8 series where it's like you could not be at your best and you still win 8-0 being at Wisconsin. But here it's like you need to show up to every game because every game's close. Every team has super good players, and that's just a little different. Like you have to be a little sharper.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Natalie, you got anything to add to that?
I definitely wasn't used to losing very much. That's a big thing. I feel like last year, Coach Ken would come into the locker room sometimes and it was like someone died after a loss.
Yeah.
We were so quiet and it was like something had been ripped from us. And he's like, guys, it's one game. We're fine. We have the next game to win.
Yeah.
And in college, we were just not used to losing. Maybe the Minnesota Ohio State games here and there, but every game's a toss-up. Every game's a good game. And then just the speed is next level, I think. Decision-making has to be like that. It's on your stick, off your stick. So those are the two big things for me.
Well, best of the best. You don't play in this league unless you're the best of the best. So that makes a lot of sense. So we have 6 franchises in the PWHL, 3 in the U.S. and 3 in Canada. But they're starting to expand now. You folks just had an opportunity to play out in Denver. So do you see expansion in the future? And if so, where would you like to see teams expand to?
I hope there's expansion just because I think with all the college girls coming out, I think there's too many good players for there to only be 6 teams. I selfishly would like Salt Lake City just so I could live at home.
Sure, yeah.
And I think, honestly, hear me out. The Olympics are going there in 2034. They just got an NHL team. Hockey's growing there. It's perfect time. It's my pitch to the league. No, but I genuinely think that there's too many good players for there to only be 6 teams, especially with the graduating class. I think it's the final year of COVID, maybe. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a big group of players coming out. Mm-hmm. But I think a U.S. team and a Canadian team and hopefully out west soon, but I feel like it kind of makes sense to keep it all Midwest, East Coast right now. But I would love to see it kind of grow west.
So, okay, Salt Lake is your pick for U.S. How about Canada?
I think Vancouver would be cool.
That's as far west as you can go, though.
Yeah. Quebec City looked really cool in that game that they just played, so that would be a good place. And I know, they showed up. They showed out. They had 18,000 people, and if you could do that on a nightly basis or gamely basis, I think that would be a unique place to have, or even London, Ontario. I know it's kind of a smaller town, but they love hockey there, so I think that would be a good market for them, but who knows?
Okay.
How do you guys travel? Do you get to fly? Is it by bus?
We fly a lot.
Yeah, commercial.
Commercial airlines?
We're kind of on an island over here, too, so
Yeah,
we can't
we're
really
flying
bus
a lot.
unless we're going from, I think our next road trip we bus from, Montreal to
Toronto to Ottawa.
or something.
Yeah, we have a couple bus trips, but it only depends on if we're playing, if we have road games.
You wouldn't bus from here to anywhere.
No.
But you'd go from Montreal, like you said, to Toronto
I would
or
not.
Ottawa.
Yeah, no, I would not either.
Oh, yeah, that would be a long one.
It's quite the difference coming from Wisconsin, though. I think we were all pretty spoiled
we
when
were
we were
so
there, and
spoiled.
now,
Jump on a charter and you're on the ice in 2 hours.
yeah. So it's a little different, but it's good. I like being in Minnesota because we do get to fly a lot and we get some Delta points. But yeah, I think our next road trip we're busing a handful of times. So,
What's a day in the life of? Today's an off day for you guys. You played last night. You're going to play again tomorrow night. And today's an off day. So give us a rundown of what a day in the life of a PWHL player is when it's not game day. Natalie, I threw you under the bus for this one.
It's pretty chill, honestly. have practice. Practice times are not very consistent, so it is what it is, given that given day. Besides that, I feel like recovery is a big thing, especially like these every other day games. We've been in a stretch where we've played a lot of games, more than other teams have. So recovery is big, treatment is big. You might practice for an hour, but you're at the rink for like 4 hours somehow every day. So just spending time, doing that.
Playing some Call of Duty.
Playing Call of Duty. Britta's coming over to watch our favorite show.
Natalia?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just relaxing, honestly. Like, I go home after practice and I'm just a potato.
It kind of feels like perpetual Christmas break in college.
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Where it's like, oh my
No
gosh, all
school.
we have to do is just go to practice. We don't have school. What do we do? And we like puzzle and play games and hang
Puzzle
out.
games.
That's what it feels like. I'm like, this is such an easy life we have. So
Sometimes
nice.
I come home, dinner's made, my husband makes dinner. And I'm like, oh, I can get used to this.
Absolutely.
Britta, what's your husband doing?
Baking
He's
cookies.
not making you a steak dinner, is he?
No, he's not.
Do you guys get fed on game days or even non-game days by the league or by the team?
Yes.
Yes.
So which meals? Do you come in and get breakfast and shakes in the morning before you hit the ice, or how does that work?
We always have pre and post for practice days. So depending on the time of the practice, it could be a breakfast pre-game or pre-training. But it's always a before and after that we get. Just depends on the time.
Okay.
We'll determine what kind.
All right. If there was one thing that you guys, if anything, would want to see change in the PWHL, whether it's a rule or the travel or anything, is there anything you guys would ever want to see changed? You guys are pretty happy with. Oh, look at
I'm trying to get fined.
Melissa, what?
I just want to make sure I don't. No, I think one thing I'd want to see change is just expansion. More teams, better players
Okay.
coming in and just making it a consistent battle each and every day.
You probably don't want to say this, ladies, but I got to believe the compensation. Probably would like to see that go up a little bit too.
That'd be cool.
Or a lot bit.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting right now because there are a few players that are making a lot just because of the way the league started. Like there was players signed early, so there is quite a bit of money around. It's just a little bit lopsided right now. So I think in the next couple of years that'll hopefully sort itself out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for rookies, that's tough.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard coming in off the
Yeah.
draft and like you're only making whatever 40, even if you're in like the second round. So
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much for your time. This has been an eye-opener, not only to the team, but to the league, and your personality shined here a little bit. I can honestly say that I would not want to go in the corner with Britta.
Same.
I don't know if I'd go in the corner with any one of these three. And Melissa, I thank you so much for not chewing my head off for
Oh, no,
my
hey,
tough
I'm-
question for number 8. But you got
Honestly,
your championship.
she got her
you got
ring.
your
I
ring.
did. I
So
did.
That's what
And
counts,
you
right?
know, I coached Little Caesars to 2 national championships, so I didn't even need one as a player.
you can borrow one of ours if you ever need.
I still have rings from Wisconsin. They just don't say national champion on it,
yeah.
so it's
There you
fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Oh, good luck the rest of the season, ladies, and thanks a lot for your time.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Welcome to our Meet the Steel segment. Today we've got Chippwa Steel player Hunter Whisenand. He's from Illinois, but he claims to be from the St. Louis area because it's the biggest city next to him there, Moog.
So we're here at the Chippwa area ice arena interviewing him and a couple of other of his teammates for down the road episodes. And you'd think as a St. Louis area guy that he'd be a St. Louis Blues fan, right? Toronto Maple Leafs. So tell us how this Maple Leafs fixation hit.
So I was about 15, started playing AAA hockey, and one of my buddies, Caden Hawkins, he plays in the USHL with Waterloo. He put me on to him. He's from London, Ontario, so he's a big Leafs fan, and he kind of put me on that wagon, and it's not a fun wagon to be on, I'll tell you that right now.
All right. So do you got a favorite player?
Yes, William Nylander.
Oh, well, you got a good
Willie.
player.
Yeah, Willie Styles.
Do you dress like Willie? He's supposed to be quite stylish.
I hope so. I hope to one day be as stylish as him. That's for sure.
I hope you make a lot of money down the road.
Yeah,
it's going to take that.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Well, tell the Steel fans here, what age did you start skating and where did you grow up actually playing hockey?
So I started skating. I was about 4 years old in Pekin, Illinois, about middle of Illinois. Played for the Peoria Junior Rivermen growing up, and then moved down south, played for the Twin Bridges Lightning with AA hockey, and then made my way to AAA in St. Louis for Carshield.
So no high school hockey or little high school hockey in Illinois?
No, high school hockey is not that big down there like it is in Minnesota. So if you want to go up and up, you got to start playing AAA and work your way up. So
Sure. Okay, good.
Get some good experiences with that AAA hockey?
yes, of course. So I didn't start playing until I was around 15, so kind of a late bloomer there. Some kids start when they're younger, but it's definitely had a huge impact on me.
Hey, good for you.
And for our listeners, what position do you play?
I play right wing.
All right. And is that just because you're a speed demon going into the corner, or is it because, nobody else wants you on the ice in that position or in any other position?
I would definitely say I'm a speed demon going in the corner. So very north to south guy, hard on the forecheck, cause turnovers.
You're kind of beefy. Imagine you're the F1 and you separate the guy from the puck,
I
and
would like to say so. Yep.
center goes in there and just picks it up because it's loose because you drilled that guy.
Yep. That's what they brought me here for.
All right,
So.
the wizard working his magic in the corners. I love it.
How do your teammates feel about the battle drills in the corner going up against you?
Oh, you can ask Zach Sandro. I don't think he likes me very much down there in the corner. So
Is that right?
yeah,
All right. You get a little bit tough with them?
a little tough with him. Yeah, some
right.
scrappy moments. So
Well, you're not there to make friends. You're there to
Nope,
do
get
the
better.
job.
Yep.
The harder you work, the better he gets too.
course.
So that's how it works for
course.
everybody. So
Tell
that's
us
good.
about your journey on how you ended up in Chippwa.
yeah, so this is my second year in the North American Hockey League. I spent the year with Odessa last year.
The jackalopes.
The jackalopes,
Did you ever
yes.
see a jackalope while you were down there?
I can't say I have.
You didn't?
So it might be some mythical creature. I don't know.
okay.
But yeah, I went back this year. Things weren't going as planned, and then I ended up getting traded here in about October. So
How do you like it?
I love it here. I think this is a great spot for me.
Good.
So
Excellent.
What do you feel about the fans? Are the fans pretty...
fans are awesome. Fans are awesome. A little smaller rink than Odessa, but it gets jam packed in here, and they are diehard. So, and that's what makes a team.
It's good.
What's your favorite part about coming to the rink? I mean, aside from whether it's in Chippewa or any other location, you as a hockey player, what's your favorite part about coming to the rink?
Just having the opportunity to play the game I love and get better. He's with a group of guys that goes to work every day and just wants to get better. It's pretty easy to want to come in and get better. So that's the biggest
So a lot
thing.
of trust with you guys. Everybody's got each other's back.
Oh, 100%. We're all brothers here.
That's amazing. That's the way it's got to be for a successful
Yeah.
team.
Of course.
Yeah.
Give us an idea of what practice was like today when you got off the ice. What kind of drills were you doing, and what were you guys looking to accomplish on the ice for practice?
Well, Tuesdays are usually our battle compete days, so there's a lot of chirping, a lot of bodies flying around, getting better, and I think that's good. Keep competitiveness because that will carry into the weekend, and that's what's going to help us win hockey games. So,
who's your biggest rival?
In the league,
Yeah.
I gotta say Fairbanks. I've only been here in this division for a few months now, but I hate Fairbanks. Don't like them. I don't like them.
A true hate.
Yes.
I love it. That's a hockey guy right
Yeah.
there.
All right. On your team,
Okay.
your right wing,
Yes.
you're looking down, you see the center and the left wing. Who are their two teammates you want in your line?
Oh, Cam Davis and Tomas Trunda. Those are my guys right there.
Those are the big dogs on there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Cam's the big dog for sure.
Okay.
So-
Awesome.
You're wreaking a little havoc on the ice?
Yeah, definitely. Cam is too. He's a big boy, so two big boys going at it. It's not fun for the other team. So
Good. That's good. Let them know you're there,
Yeah.
right? Mix it up in the
Yep.
corners.
100%.
So were you always a forward, or did you
Yeah,
ever play any defense or anything like that?
not that I recall. I've always been a forward, so you can ask my skills coach. I don't skate backwards very well, so I'm very north.
So despite the fact you were chirping Zach earlier, he's a defenseman, so
Yeah.
what you're trying to tell me is he might be a better skater than you?
Backwards, forwards, absolutely not. I'll give him that.
Okay.
I don't think he can skate forward to save his life. So
Oh my gosh.
And the chirping continues.
it's a brotherhood. It's all fun and games.
Can you tell us the best chirp you've ever heard, whether it's from a teammate or not?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Oh,
I
it's a
don't
family
think-
show.
Yeah, I can't tell you that.
Maybe off mic, JC. We'll have to ask him.
That's,
Yeah, we'll have
that's
to
definitely
ask him
something
that.
for off
Okay.
the mic.
But there is some chirping going on in there on the ice.
Oh, definitely. It's all love, though. All love. So
Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, Hunter, this has been an absolute blast. Appreciate your time and thanks
Yeah.
for entertaining us
yeah,
today.
of course. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Hunter.
it.
Good luck the rest of your year.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, whatever it is on your social media platform. Helps us keep in the game.
And a huge thank you to our Minnesota Frost interviewees, Natalie Buchbinder, Britta Curl-Salemme, and Melissa Channell-Watkins, as well as our Chippwa Steel player, Hunter the Wizard Whisenand, as well as you folks, our faithful listeners. Please remember to visit our sponsors, the Chippwa Steel, Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Clinic, Hertel Law, Ryan Flagg at State Farm Insurance, Dooley's Pub, and the St. Paul Shop. And remember, folks, until next time, keep your head on a swivel and stay on your inside edges.